Hello and good morning, everyone. I am Adrienne Ostras. I am the digital marketing director here at Eldercare, and I am super excited to kick off 2026 with the first webinar of the year talking about Integrity Connect. This is our technology that you have access to, and I'm going to show you specifically this morning how you use this technology for life insurance, meaning final expense, IUL, term. You can quote and submit applications on this technology, but I'm also going to show you how to set up the platform, to where it's more successful for you, and show you additional features that will help you sell more as well. So just because you can quote and enroll on this platform, which is one way it does help agents sell more, we have customized so many more features on here for agents to continue to save time and sell more. So that is how agents are truly saving the most time, is they're taking advantage of all of the features that are available on here. And I am going to show you exactly how to do that. I do see a few more people jumping on. Good morning. Welcome. Good morning. If this is your first time jumping on a webinar with us here at Eldercare, we love this to be a conversation. This is why we do them live, is because we want to give you the opportunity to ask your questions right away, get them answered right away, and also hear the questions that other agents are asking, right? If you're a newer agent, you might not know what questions to ask. So if you're a more experienced agent, maybe share some questions that new agents should be asking, right? This is why we do that. So you should see my screen, and this is kind of where you will access the technology, whether you're a life or health agent. It's going to be the same portal. So I know we're calling it Integrity Connect, but the website that you will always log into or sign up on is integrity.com. So you can see that right here. It's really easy, really simple. Integrity.com is where you're always going to go to access this technology. And you'll click login in the top right. And it's already going to have me logged in. And then for this example, I'm also going to be using one of my sample portals that I have for training purposes only. So mine might look a little bit different than yours, but majority of everything on here will look exactly the same to you as it is on here. I don't see any questions coming through. Let me know you can hear and see my screen okay. Maybe Gary, Robert, Bill, Andrew, anyone, Brian, Diane. Let me know. Just find the Q&A. If you're on Zoom, you have to find the Q&A. And if you're on Facebook Live, you just comment. But okay, Brian, all good. Thank you. Got to make sure. I'm using a new computer, so I got to make sure it's working smoothly. Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Maurice. Thank you, Andrew. Okay, so you'll notice when I first log in here, you see this like save big on brands you love. Like these are all like the new things happening, which I'm going to go over. But if you don't want to keep seeing that, you can close that X when you log in. And then I'm going to go over how to access those in a second. But when you first log into Integrity, especially as a life agent, I know a lot of you do health on here, but if you're wanting to get into life, or you've been doing life and you just haven't done it on here yet, you're still going to want to start with your account settings. We have to make sure that your account settings are set up correctly for this platform to work for you. So if you're new, you will see your initials in the top right-hand corner. You'll notice I clicked up here in the top right-hand corner. But if you've already added your profile picture, then it might be a photo of yourself. But you're going to click that and you're going to go to account. And then this is where you'll be able to see all of your account settings. So we're going to go to agent profile right here in the middle. And then this is where you can upload your headshot. This does have to be a professional headshot. You can't do a logo or a cartoon or anything like that. Highly recommend that you do that, especially as a digital marketer. I'm always going to recommend that you have a photo of yourself. It makes you more human, right? Everyone is getting materials all the time in their email and their text and mail all over. And so when you have a photo of yourself, it just is that extra thing that you're doing to make them feel more comfortable that they're working with a human, right? We all want to work with humans still. So the first thing too is the product preferences. This is how you are able to quote products on here. So this is really, really important. In the product preferences, make sure that you have your life products selected. You can just hit this little square with the pen, and then this is how you can turn on the life products. Make sure this is turned on, because this is, again, how you quote and enroll these products on this platform. And then, of course, if you're a health agent, these are most likely already selected, but if you do sell both products, you can turn them all on. And then all of this information is really important to fill in because it goes on your free website that we offer you. So every agent gets a free website where they can direct people to learn about life, learn about health, request quotes, do all of the things for all of the products. It's a free website that you have access to and can, put out there in the world. And then next, this is where you find your personalized agent phone number. So this is another free thing that we offer you. It's basically a business line for your business. So you don't have to, be sharing your personal number out there. You can use this line as your business line. And what's really impressive about it is it will automatically record the phone call. So if someone calls this number, it is going to forward to whatever number you have in your settings. So it's going to ring to your cell phone, even though it's a different number. And then even the ringing is recorded. So everything's going to record automatically. And then what you can do with that recording is really impressive too. So we will give you call summaries, meeting summaries. We can transcript the call for you. You can download the recording. This is one of those features that I see it as it helps build retention, and that's how it helps, business stay on the books and help you grow even more, because before you call your client, you can ask Integrity, hey, what's the last thing I talked to Miss Jones about? And we're going to tell you because you used this platform. It's really, really impressive. And so even as a life agent, I would highly recommend utilizing these tools. That way you have it all in one place. And then next is this selling permissions up here at the top. This is where you're going to be able to see all of the carriers that you are contracted with and ready to submit applications for on this platform. So again, this is a staging account, so it's going to look a little bit different on my end, but all of you should have life carriers in here. And if you don't, and you're really, wanting to test this technology out, it only takes one to get in here. So please reach out to us. We have an amazing marketing team here that know all the ins and outs of all the products, and will be able to help you figure out which carrier maybe you want to start with, or they even know all the transfer rules. So if you're wanting to know what the transfer rules look like for a carrier, they can help you with that. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the dashboard, and one little tip using this technology, you can just click this Integrity logo up here in the top left, and it will take you back to the dashboard. So you don't have to click the back button over and over again. So now I am going to kind of talk about the dashboard. This is what it looks like when you first log in. This is kind of telling you what's going on with all of the information that's in here. So first thing on here is this Ready to Connect. This is where you're going to see any leads that you're purchasing. So purchasing, or maybe from your free website. So like for this example, this Sulu, went on my website and filled out a form. And so now I have a new lead ready to connect with me. But if you're also using our IntegrityCONNECT leads to purchase life leads, they will come to this Ready to Connect, any new ones. And then of course you can always see all of your leads within clients as well. This is where you see your reminders. So if you're following up with people, put those reminders in here. So when you first log in, you can click this and say, okay, this is what I got to do first. I need to talk to Kylo. I need to talk to Tom. I need to talk to Meredith. Like, these are things that I need to do. And then unlinked connections. This is really cool too. Like, we don't want you to miss out on, any phone calls or text. So if someone does call that, business line number that we give you, or they text it, but they're not a client, like they're not in here as a contact, it's going to go to these unlinked connections. And then that way, any missed calls or new leads that are calling, we're still recording that information and we're still letting you know what's happening. And you can always find that in unlinked connections. Now, I would say you want to keep up with this. And once you figure out who it is or they become a client, you want to come over here and link this information to that contact record so you can see that history. And then that way, this is a lower number for you. And then health SOAs, that pertains to the health side if you're doing scope of appointments. But this morning we're focusing on life because this is the best time of year to follow up with your Medicare clients and your health clients and remind them that you can also do life insurance with them. Next is this application status snapshot. This is our policy data that we are getting. We do get this for life as well. On the life side, this is only updated once a month right now. So really, really soon, it will be updated daily, but as of right now, it is only updated once a month. And then if you do have any policies that you've written, but not on Integrity Connect, it's going to go to this unlinked policies. So if you're writing the applications on Integrity Connect, right, on this technology I'm showing you, then it will automatically go into one of these, I'll say buckets: declined, applied, or issued. And then that way you can always filter by carrier, filter by declined. You would be able to automatically filter that. You wouldn't have to come in here and link the policy to the contact record. So one other great reason to be writing the apps on here. And then down here is any recent activity that's going on with your contacts. Okay, so next we're going to kind of jump into this clients tab. Let's talk about getting your data in here. So if you are an experienced agent, you have a book of business, you want to import your data in here so you don't have to enter it one at a time, you can do that. And how you do that is you click clients over here on the left, and then you will click import over here on the right. And then this is where you can download a template. And then this is also where you would upload that CSV file to import your list in here, whatever it might be. Okay. And then if you don't have a spreadsheet and you're just wanting to add as you go, that's fine. You will just click add new in the top right-hand corner here. First name, last name, phone number, or email. You don't have to have both to create just a single contact. But that's what you do have to create a single contact. But you can put in birth date, which I highly recommend. That way it transfers into the quote. The zip and city and state, really important for quoting. So I would put that information in there, and then you can create contact. The best way to get familiar with this technology and get confident in it is to get in here and practice yourself. So everything that I am doing, you can do. You can make yourself test contacts, run test quotes. You can do all of those things to get yourself familiar with it. You are not going to break it. Okay, this is your technology. So I would definitely take advantage of it. And then I'm going to go into a contact record. I'm going to go into Kevin here and kind of show you what it looks like when you're looking at a contact record. So this is the main overview page. This is going to tell you any reminders, any activities going on. Their contact details are over here on the left. Any of the products that they have, any campaigns, any tags. So you can, create as many custom tags as you want. It's going to tell you maybe where the lead came from. So this came from my website, and it qualifies for the Legacy Safeguard product that we offer. So you'll notice over here that this person is eligible for a free membership for Legacy Safeguard. This is an amazing service that you, an agent, have to offer your client. It is at no cost to you. It's at no cost to your client. It is something that our CEO, Brian Adams, created with integrity. for you to help your clients for, maybe planning that legacy is the best way to put it. But it does exactly that. So it's something that they sign up for free, and then they have access to all of these resources to organize all of their end of life plans. And then there's the get synced. You can send them an invite to, enter in their information. And then this connect tab here is kind of where all the action happens, right? This is where you can send your client a text message. This is where you can call them. So when you do an outbound call, it is also recorded. And how it works is when you hit make a call, it's going to automatically call you, the agent, first. So you have to answer the phone first. And then once you answer the phone, it automatically calls your client. And then your client answers. So it does an automated three-way. And then it's automatically recorded and stored here. And again, you're going to get those AI notes, the summary of it. And then that way you can use the Ask Integrity feature to chat about it. And then this SOA is for the health side, but this is where you could do the scope of appointment. And then policies, this is where you'll be able to see any pending, current, or previous. The medical profile, this is where you can put in their health information, their providers, their prescriptions, their pharmacy, and any health conditions. I will say the health conditions and the health info over here on the left are what pertain to the life side of the quoting, mostly. It also pertains with the prescriptions. So if you're just doing life on here, then those are the things that you'll do. You most likely won't utilize the provider part if you're just doing life on here. And then the financial profile, this is kind of like the needs analysis. If you need to figure out how much coverage your client might need for final expense. Okay, so you can click this financial profile, you can click calculate coverage needs, and then it's going to ask, let's go over the current debt. And then it's going to ask, let's go over income. And then it's going to ask about mortgage. And then what they expect to spend on education, assets, and then it'll give you the estimated amount, which I didn't fill out anything. So that is the contact record here. So when you're in there, those are all the things you have access to. I know it was a lot, but isn't it amazing to have it all in one place? And then now I'm going to kind of talk about some of the newer features that are on here before I get into quoting. And so over here on the left-hand side, you'll notice there is a learning tab. This learning tab got a huge upgrade. Okay, so if you had been using it and seen the learning side before, but it didn't have anything that you thought you needed, check it out again. Okay, because now it has training for every feature on here. So if you just want to read through these and be like, hey, I didn't know it did this, I need to read about this, how do I do this? Or if you want to search a certain topic or feature on here for help, you can. There is a Medicare carriers tab here. You can see upcoming webinars, you can see past webinars. There are all kinds of things that you have access to here. And then another newer feature is this view as. So I'm going to click view as over here on the left. And this is something that agents requested so much. And so this is why we have created this for you. And let me tell you, agents, you have power in numbers. So the more suggestions that you have, the more likely they're going to be built out, right? If majority of agents want it, then we have the power to say, let's do this. And so agents requested something for their admin assistants to be able to access the data without having to log in as them. And so that's what this does. This gives you the opportunity to invite. So up here, once you click view as in the top right, you can click invite to invite your assistant or, whoever else you might have in your office or helping you with your book of business. You can click invite, and then you can either give an invite to an agent or a non-agent, and it goes off at the email. So they'll be able to log in with their email and then have access to your book of business and help you go through it. Now, when you do that, They will have access to everything except writing an application and seeing applications. So for obvious reasons, right? You have to be a licensed agent and that application has to be associated with that agent. So when you give them view as access, they'll be able to, call on your behalf and everything, put reminders in there for you, create the contacts for you, import for you. They just won't be able to submit applications for you. And then lastly, one of the newer features over here is My Benefits. And so this is something really cool that Integrity has done. And this is what is only the beginning of being a part of the Integrity family. So as long as you're with or under that umbrella or within the Integrity family, then you have access to this. So this is something that you'll be able to, one of the features is to save up to 50% on E&O insurance, which is huge for life agents. A lot of life carriers require you to have E&O insurance. So if you're wanting to shop around, see if you save money, you can just come here and hit apply now. You'll have to fill out everything to get a quote and see what it is. But we have helped agents save up to 50% on this. So it's really exciting. And then the other part of the My Benefits is you get discounts and savings on major brands. And so this is just the beginning, like I said, but these are the ones that you can access now to get discounts for being within that Integrity family. Hopefully all of you were aware of that, but even as life agents, this is something that you have access to. Okay, so now I'm going to get into the good part. I'm going to talk about quoting and enrolling. So I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with quoting life insurance, but if you're not, if you're new to maybe writing life, I'm going to go through step by step on how to quote on here. And so technically you have two options to run a quote. You can go to quick quote up here in the top right. You can see that here, quick quote. You can click that and you can start a quote, okay? The other option is if you do have a client in here, so let's say we'll go to Sue Lou. When you're in the contact record, you can hit start a quote, okay? And then also, even if you're on the client's page, you can, if you don't want to click into the contact, you can click these little dots to the right, the little dot, dot, dot. These are just more features that you have access to. And then you can click start a quote. So the big difference between the two, okay, so I'm going to kind of hover over here, start a quote from a client and then quick quote is obviously if you quote from a client, it is going to pull that information automatically into the quote. So their age, their state, if you have that health profile filled out, it'll automatically be filled out. You won't have to enter in anything. Quick quote, however, you will have to enter in the information. So I'm going to start by clicking quick quote. And then it gives you, again, because I have those product preferences of life and health, it gives me both options. But if you are a life only agent and you just want to quote life, then it'll automatically go to life. And then these are the products you have access to quote: final expense, fully underwritten IUL, fully underwritten term, simplified IUL, or simplified term. And the big difference between the underwritten IUL and the simplified IUL is this simplified IUL will be instant issue, like instant decision, instant issue. That's the main difference between those. And again, if you don't know how much coverage they're needing and they want to have that conversation on how much coverage they need, here's that calculator again. So if you need to do that, you can click that and it'll go over all the questions. For this example, I am going to quote final expense, but again, highly recommend that you get in here today, run some quick quotes with all the products, get yourself familiar with it. That way you know what it looks like. So I'm going to click final expense, and then here's the information that I have to enter because I'm doing a quick quote. But if you did this from your contact or your existing client, then you don't have to enter it. You'll be more prepared in providing those quotes for them when you're on the phone with them. You do have to do gender. You don't have to do height and weight. But, if you're doing that underwritten, you'll have to put that in there. And, what's really impressive about this technology is we have all of this information built in here. So we have all of the carriers' height and weight charts in here. We have their underwriting guides. We have their knockout questions. We have everything built into this technology. So the more information you give us, the more we're going to be able to narrow down the plan that's going to most likely accept them, okay? So I'm just, for this example, going to enter in everything. And because I'm doing final expense, I'm going to do someone turn in 65. We'll do, what is it, 1961 now. And I will say you can do date of birth or age, but we highly recommend that you do date of birth because some life carriers go off of, prior age or future age, and so they go off the date of birth, not the age. Or the system will know by the carriers how they quote. So to get the most accurate quote, do date of birth. And then we're going to hit continue. And then now it's going to go to health conditions because this is a biggie for life insurance. So when you're quoting final expense, you can do guaranteed issue. You can skip this. If they have no conditions, you can just click continue to quote, and then it'll give you the plans. But this is really important to be able to enter in all of their medical conditions. That way, again, we can help you find a carrier that they're going to qualify for coverage for, okay? So you have two ways to find the condition, okay? You can search by a prescription. So, we can do metformin, and then once we pick the prescription, it's going to tell us the associated conditions for the medication. So these are all the conditions they might have for taking this medication. And so this is what's kind of cool if you are a Medicare agent and you've already been doing your Medicare business in here, you already have the prescriptions in here. You'll be able to, those will pull into here automatically, and then you'll be able to see, select the condition from that. So that's one way to select the condition, is through a prescription, or you can see here, I can just type in the condition. If I know they have diabetes, I can just come in here and say they have diabetes. And then what's really cool, again, like I said, we have the underwriting guide, the knockout questions, the height and weight chart, all built in here. So now because you select a health conditions, now you select a condition, it is going to ask you questions about the condition, okay? So it's going to ask last treatment date. It's going to ask, this is just for diabetes, right? Every condition has its own questions. Were you diagnosed before 20? This is important because some carriers won't take people when they're diagnosed, before a certain age. Before 30, with history, do you have these other history of these conditions with diabetes? Do you require more than 50 units of insulin a day? Insulin dependent before, and then it's going to ask the age you were diagnosed. And this is probably asking me all these questions because I'm not answering them right. Do you use nicotine? With history of heart disease or stroke? And then that's that condition added. So it's really important to be able to answer these questions off the bat. That way, when you run the quote, with certainty that they're going to qualify for that plan. For this example, I am going to remove this condition just so I can show you what it looks like with all the carriers. So I'm just going to click continue to quote. And then it should load the carriers. There we go. So you'll see here over here to the right, by default, it automatically quotes for final expense at 15,000. You can change this. You can go up, down, you can type the amount for the coverage amount, or if you wanted to search by monthly premium, if they are giving you a budget per month, you can type in the monthly premium as well. And then by default, it does the best available coverage type. You can change this if you're looking specifically for level, guaranteed issue, graded, limited pay. You can have it show just my appointed. This is where it's really cool too. So I get this call a lot, is an agent will call in and say, hey, I'm running this quote, but this carrier isn't showing up and I know I'm appointed with them. And so a lot of times when I come in here and run the quote, I'll come over here and check this excluded, and it will tell me why that carrier is not showing. So if I hover over this little I for the pre-screen, it's saying that I don't qualify for this product because of the coverage amount. This is a under $5,000 plan. But if I had put in, all of those height and weight, the health conditions, this would tell me, it's not covered because of, that condition, etc. You can do the rate class. You can come back and add conditions if you need to. And then again, here's all of the plans. So I can go back to coverage amount to 15. It's very quick to load. So for this account, I only have 10 showing, but again, for your accounts, you'll probably have more. And 15,000 Transamerica, 59.29. And then you can see Mutual of Omaha, Life Shield, GTL, Americo, Foresters, Liberty Bankers, AIG, Royal Neighbors, and then you can keep going if you're looking for a certain carrier. American Amicable, CVS Health, Oxford. You'll be able to see all of them here. And then there's, I'm going to go back to the first page. And then once you've kind of gone over which life plan is going to be the good fit for them, you can even do the application on here. So again, this technology is your all-in-one. Your CRM, your quote, your enroll, your admin, your how you text and call, everything all in one place. And then once you're ready to do that application, you will click apply. Now, this I want to point out because this is only doing this because I did a quick quote. If you had quoted from a contact where you had all of their information already, it would have automatically taken you to the application. It would have filled in the application with their information automatically for you. Because I did a quick quote, I'm going to have to work a little backwards. So I can either link this to a contact name, or I can come up here and save this as a contact. So I can come up here and I can say, new test, and I'm going to create a contact for new test. And then I am going to have email and phone number when I do it this way. So we can do, and again, we verify if the email, if you've typed it in right, if it's a legit email and phone number, and then I can continue to apply. And then what will happen is this application will open in a new tab for you. Oh, I don't think this, oh, so you'll notice here I had that pop-up block. This is something you're going to have to watch out for. If that pop-up block happens, you're going to have to always allow, and then it will open in a new tab for you. Which, because I'm in this testing environment, it is not going to let me. So let me see if I can try Sulu on here because I kind of want to show you what it looks like. So now I'm going into a contact and I'm going to do final expense, and all of the information is in here. Well, I thought it was for Sulu, but I guess not. You can see our prescriptions, continue to quote. And then she might not qualify for Mutual of Omaha. Guess we can try Transamerica. Click apply. And then again, you're not having to sign in for certain carriers. Like it's automatically just pulling up the application. And then you can just hit select for e-sign, and it's going to take you to the application, and you can go through the entire app. And then if for some reason they don't qualify for this plan, if that goes south, like they forgot to tell you something, you can come back to this tab here and click apply on another one. And just, you don't have to start the quote all over again. You can just hit apply again. And then this is the full application, submits to the carrier without having to log in. And then you'll also be able to see a copy of the application when you go into My Cases, and you would be able to see that it was successfully submitted. Of course, all of these are just started for me, but you would be able to see that they were successfully submitted and see a copy of the application under My Cases. And another way that you can get to that is if you click your initials in the top right-hand corner, and you can go to iPipeline. That's where you find your cases. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the dashboard real quick. I'm going to go to this one. And I'm going to kind of talk about support and our AI features before I get off of here and open it for questions. I do see some questions coming through, Stephen. I see them, I promise. And if you do have any questions, please put them in the Q&A now because it lags, and then that way I can get to it. So in the bottom right-hand corner, when you're on your dashboard or on your client's page, you'll notice two little blue options over here in the bottom right. And we'll go with the bottom one first. You'll see live chat. This is where you can chat with the Integrity support team. So if you are having trouble and you want to chat with IT, you have that capability here. So you just click that live chat. You will have to answer some questions first. Okay, you're not going to get a live person right away. We want to be able to get you to the right live person ahead of time. Okay, there's so many different parts of this technology, and support, they are by feature. So you'll have to tell us what you're wanting support with first, and then who your integrity upline is. So if you're on this training, your integrity upline might be Eldercare, and then that way they'll be able to help assist you better. Now, the other feature I want to talk about, which is really cool, and I've been talking about a little bit, is this Ask Integrity. So this little blue eye in the bottom right-hand corner is our AI feature. So this is where you can ask it about your clients. This is where you can ask for the call summary, the meeting notes, the transcript, just to tell you about your client. You can do all of that here. The most asked questions are suggested here that agents are using. So you can just click one of these and continue through the steps for that. Okay, so now I'm going to open it for questions. Stephen, it has it harder to be engaged. I don't know what feature I was talking about on that one. As far as the life carrier permissions, you shouldn't have to add those manually. Those should be automatic now. So as long as you have those contracts within the Integrity family, they should automatically be there. So the HealthSpring Life is not on here yet. The Loyal American product is not on here yet. So that's why you don't see that in your permissions. Okay, does anyone have any further questions? Is everyone pretty excited to start writing their life apps on here? I will say when you're in this clients tab, I think we have these columns, these life and health columns to help show you that, you can have both policies with a client in here. So maybe your goal for 2026 is to have, this little blue heart have a 1 and this health cross have a little 1. So you'll notice like these are all grayed out and don't have numbers. And that's telling me I don't have any life or health policies with this person. And so maybe that's your goal when you come in here to clients, is to have policies with both products with your clients. And then soon we will be doing a training on the production tab and the marketing tab. The production tab, again, we only get this information on the life side once a month. So it's not super used right now, but once we start, putting the life in here daily, we'll be going over this production and you'll be able to see all of that policy data in here. And then the marketing tab, once we get more life templates in here, I'll go over this in a separate training, but it is something that you have access to. So if you did want to send, your clients a happy birthday or a thank you for enrolling for a life policy, those are in here and you can send those to your clients as of today. I was trying to access the webinar on Facebook. There was no audio. Whoops. Yeah, Facebook is not the most user-friendly for the host, Stephen. So sorry about that. So Stephen, you can ask any life questions to anyone on our team. We are definitely a team here. Anyone in agent service, any of the marketers. If it's about getting contract, obviously it's going to be one of the marketers. If it's about an existing contract that you have with us, if you're needing supplies, marketing materials, things like that, that'll be anyone in agent service. Andrew said, thank you. Good stuff. Stephen, you're awesome. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for jumping on here. I'm super excited that this was our first webinar for 2026. And I look forward to seeing all the growth of the life side using this technology. We experienced, when I say we, as in a lot of our agents experienced so much growth this AEP, this last year, using IntegrityCONNECT for their, health policies, health applications, health clients, however you want to say it. And so I'm super excited to help agents get into that life side of things and grow even more with that. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a great rest of your week. And I will see you Thursday. We will be talking about UH1, United Health One. We're going to be going over some products that might be a ACA alternative is kind of what we're talking about, but it's a great product to be getting in the house with. So see you Thursday. Bye, everyone.